Good morning, dear friends. Steve here. And although this is going to be a meditation so that you can change your lives in mysterious and mystical ways, just by hearing words and watching as your brain expands, maybe not your brain, but the field of energy around your brain. There, that's better. Expands. While you're being read, or blue, but I think red. You're being read a children's story about expanded consciousness, which almost all children's stories are about expanded consciousness. So I'm going to switch over so I'm not looking at myself because it's too early in the morning and I don't drink coffee anymore, so I have no excuse for being tired. Okay, so I'm moving on I'm checking volume. Volume's fine. I'm moving on. I'm going to be reading to you like a children's book because I am a child. And I've said more than once, you can ask my wife, that I never grew up in Southern California. And it's true. I'm 74. I looked at adults from both sides now, and I determined that I could find very few people who declared their adultness to be people having much fun. Now, you may have known some, but I just knew very few. There was a few in the neighborhood, but the majority of them were like, just getting by another day. Okay, here we go. So here's your story for the morning. You can consider this a healing field. You can consider this over and over again, I guess. So, all right, let's start from the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. We begin, as you see, with the ABCs, and we carry on with the CDC, or the CBC. But obviously, we carry on because we're still here. If you're watching this video, you're still on the planet or watching it through someone who's still on the planet. We're going to start off today with the guest house. And I don't know, I just know him as Rumi, so I don't know how to say his first name. I didn't know Rumi had a first name. And it kind of was disappointing to me that Rumi had a first name because Rumi was just so great as Rumi. But I'm going to attempt to pronounce it, and you can complain in the comments section if I mispronounce it. So I'm going to say that it's Hallelujah Ruby, and maybe I can look it up for the proper pronunciation of. It could be Jalaluddin, Halaluddin, Rumi. I might even be saying Rumi wrong, but except on a spiritual level, I don't think he's here. I'm pretty sure he's not here in my house unless he's one of my cats now. So, The Guest House is a poem that was translated by Coleman Barks. why why it seems funny that the last person's last name is Barks, but it makes me laugh. But sorry about that, Coleman. Coleman. Ah, it's better. It would make me laugh more if it was translated by Coleman Stoves or Coleman Thermoses, but Coleman Barks. Arr, arr, arr. That's good. I won't upset the cat by really doing the Schneider bark, but maybe someday. Do the Schneider, Schnauzer bark. The Guest House by Jalaluddin Rumi, translated by Coleman Barks. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Basically, I'm just going to go off on the poem for a minute. That's basically a description of my childhood. What to look for: a joy, a depression, a meanness, and some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing. Coleman Barks. That's not part of the poem, but it's a part of my reading of the poem. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. You have to understand that you're being read a poem by Rumi, by a person who's paying good money to take a meditation course on fear. So you gotta take it with a grain of mocha. Back to the poem. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. that's from Rumi. And this next part is from a person that was known for a period of time as Yodi. And Yodi writes, "Hello, dear friends. Stephen R. McLean, hearing. I have a question for you. What is the leading cause of skin dryness?" Here's another. Why would a seemingly intelligent person spend the approximate amount of money with which he might have purchased a total of 6 mochas back in the days when he was consuming coffee, instead spend that whopping $37 to take a meditation course on fear? Don't ask me. Ask yourselves. All inside, hidden from view, talking among themselves. So, Kimosabi, you might ask yourself, what is the color of fear? Why do I feel anxious when I'm meditating on fear? Why this 3rd degree? Like being afraid is some criminal activity, and the fear police have been called, and they're going to drag your ass to the hooskow. Jailer, might I bother you for a mocha? Without non-dairy whipped cream. This, dear friends, is in the mind and heart. Oh, I think that was supposed to be soul, but it says should. Soul and body of an itinerant healer choosing to heal, inspire. It's supposed to be in spite. Oh well. In spite of the costs, and there are many, who, in their right mind, or even their mind that was left behind the veil of tears, do not look behind the curtain. You might find that you are a wizard. Okay, change the world as you see fit. Yet remember, everything you change might affect 7 generations, lives, loves, and experience of happiness. Are you willing to risk your safety if it means others being safe for 7 generations? Now, generations can mean many things. To my son A, who was referring to B, to sister B, and both in our world followed the leader C, was explaining. So, son A was explaining the difference in taste of A and B's music. And A said, and I repeat, said, Dad, you just don't understand. This was said frequently by my children, and it was true. You just don't understand. B and I, being A, are from different generations. A and B were born 2 years apart. So in this scenario, in this mathematics, within 7 generations, only 14 years, a lot could change into a building. And that, my dear friends, is show business. I was experiencing my 6 mocha meditation this morning, and it's day 3 of a 7-day exploration into fear. I'm meditating on fear because it makes me feel bipolar. I mean, how can I complain about, says the word, but it should say the world. I'm going to correct it right now while I can. The world. How can I complain about the world or the word? Oh, it might be the word. So I'm going to go and take it and take the L out of the world. And now it's just a word. So how can I complain about the word? And I probably should put in fear, let alone the body sensations. And for me, sheer terror of being discovered to be a mistake, a bass turd. I should probably change that from bast. This is fun being able to change it as you go. A bass turd, a successful failure, an unrequited love, a drop of a seed, in otter words, a potential cause of stress for 7 generations, or 14 years, whichever comes first, or second, which is the first loser. Phew. And you might think that you have problems. Think about what it might be like to be attempting to solve them from inside this mind, both the right mind and the mind left behind, let alone 7 generative children. Sigh. We all have our problems, or possibly we all are our problems, or even everyone has people in their lives that are the problem. That's one of my favorites. Or even bigger, the world is the problem. Taken to its extreme might be dog is the problem. If you're dyslexics. Sigh. If in all the world there's only one that chooses him, herself to be the fun one, Would it be you? Or would it be too lonely? I think I'll hit the post button and maybe edit it later. Now you'll be able to read it if you so choose, and that was all done in 20 minutes. And if you're wondering, I spent hours getting my hair to look just like this. I mean by sleeping. Okay. May this video, I might put one of the more amazing videos that I've made, even though it just froze. And I don't know if it's been doing that because I'm lacking in memory, even though I'm taking memory mushrooms, but I'm not lacking memory. My computer might be lacking in memory. You know, it might be tired from storing 600 videos that I've made in the past year and a half. What's that? Making about 400 a year? A little over one a day. Shoot. I say few, but that's an expression of like, whoa, that's exhausting to think about. Okay, so here we are. Together again. Doing our best to both allow change through acceptance. Meeting fear as a friend. Welcoming fear into our heart to be loved as the resource it has been in our life and lives, in the lives of our ancestors, millions of years of reproduction, millions of years of reproduction that created this form that you, in your divine wisdom, chose to incarnate into for your sole purpose, or should purpose, if autocorrect misspells it, or maybe you're just dyslexic typing made soul into should. But no shoulds, coulda, woulda, shoulda, no shoulding on me, and I won't should on you. But, I won't should on you, but acceptance. This is who I am in this moment, and in 7 generations or 14 years, I might be better. I might not be taking meditation classes on fear and watching them really early in the morning and feeling the panic rise in my chest and go, was that there before I took the meditation course on fear? A course is a course, of course, but that is only if it's a required course for your should or soul travels, for your soul purpose. And if you're watching this, which is a video on a site that declares itself to be about consciousness and healing, then you are possibly interested in how you might change to be an expanded version of yourself, which is the larger self. You got your deep self, you got your higher self, you've got your highest self, you've got your earthly self that you can ground yourself deeply into the healing center of your earth self. And then you can just fully open yourself to the healing power of the one self. If that causes you to feel good about all selves, so be it. Union. It's a joy. I can say that now because last week, only a week ago, I had an experience of joy. And it's still rumbling. I can still feel it kind of rumbling underneath the panic of what's this life going to be like if I'm cut loose. A good friend of mine who was my gestational partner for probably less than 3 months. But we might have made some plans. But supposedly when you're out there making plans, you actually know what you're coming in to do. So if that was the case, then he and I knew that we were coming in for the world that can sometimes seem kind of cruel and crazy. That we were coming in thinking that we were going to get to be twins together in this life. And then it was perceived to be a mistake by people outside of ourselves that we would come in together because possibly the world would have basically gone like that, which it did one time before in another life. And we won't go into that right now. But we decided we would come in together and then just kind of moving and grooving and dancing all about. And then whoop, one of us exited. And the other one got the privilege to stay. And spend a portion of his life like looking around, where is he? Where is he? Where'd my friend go? And I did have another twin that was born through another body outside of my own. So I had that twin for the first 12 years. So I got to have the experience of twinness. And then another 18 plus years later, maybe 20 years later, I came across my other twin who had exited, ditched me in the womb with a view, left me alone to deal with that kind of guest house family. So I read the poem because I grew up in the guest house and I needed to learn to navigate the guest house so I could eventually get out of the guest house. And now I'm being invited back in to be the guest house of the world and the energies that are being worked with in the world as it transitions to a whole nother reality. And I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's been comfortable. But I would say this. I've had more amazing experiences than most people I know. But I remember some of mine, and I haven't heard all of theirs. So it could be that we're all having amazing experiences. So I don't feel like we need to make it a competition who's had the best experiences in their life or the worst. You know, we're not going to do the queen or king for a day thing like you get a washer and dryer if you're the most miserable person determined by the audience. I want to be king for the day. What do I want to do? I want a new electric bike so I can save the planet as I'm riding my bike over to the garden producing the food for the food bank so that people can eat because people like to eat. And, you know, at the food bank, there's some of the foods that people would actually pick up at the store, you know, with corn syrup in it and stuff. There's some of that. And then there's just organic vegetables. So that's your choice. You you know, you can get, you know, day old cakes that are just I'm sure filled with either sugar or high fructose corn syrup. You can get those things because they're picked up by the stores because they were going to eliminate them. So they picked up and they put in this cooler. And people, I was in the store the other day and this person was like, they have cake. I said, they have organic vegetables, but they have cake. So that's your cake and you can eat it too. And that's it for this morning's monologue. And I'll continue to be Steve. I'll continue to be Yogi. And I'll continue to think I'm funny. Namaste.